This is the 2024 Honda Accord, and this is the 2024 Honda CR-V. And apparently there's quite a few of you out there who are trying to make a decision on which of these two vehicles you want to choose. Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. And today I'm at Holmes Honda to tell you all about these two vehicles, the differences and the similarities. And there are quite a few of each. And so we're going to dig in and find out which one might be best for you. It's really up to you to decide that, obviously. I can't make that decision for you, but I can present the information to help out with that. If you want all-wheel drive, for example, your only option is going to be the CR-V. Every trim level of the CR-V comes with available all-wheel drive. The Accord only offering front-wheel drive. And something else that's going to be different here where these two models are concerned. In fact, let's make our way over here to the CR-V first. If you go with the non-hybrid version of the CR-V, you can tow up to 1,500 pounds. If you go with the hybrid version, which is what we have in this particular case with this all-wheel drive CR-V Hybrid Sport, you can tow up to 1,000 pounds. The biggest differences will be found in cargo capacity and one other area, but it's going to be the same on both where that's concerned. Now just listen, I'll explain that. That probably sounded a little confusing. So how about cargo capacity with the CR-V? 36.6 to 76.5 cubic feet is what you'll find here with the hybrid version. However, there's a big difference, maybe not big, but there is a difference here with the CR-V if you go non-hybrid, and it has to do with the floor down here. And that's the fact that you can change the position of that floor. And that way, the cargo capacity ranges between 36.6 to 39.3 to 76.5 cubic feet of cargo space. Now, if you go hybrid, there's one thing you won't find on either one of these models, and that is going to be a spare tire. Because of the battery and its location in both models, well, that's why you don't have the spare tire. You will have a tire repair kit, but it's just something to be aware of. And here with the Accord, a lot of that information is going to be the same. But one thing that is different but the same at the same time, boy, that probably just confused a lot of people, but don't click away just yet. I will explain what I'm talking about. Cargo capacity is going to be 16.7 cubic feet. Now that's going to be across the board, not something that happens with every model of vehicle. Whether you go hybrid or non-hybrid, that's going to be your cargo space. But the same thing applies here. Underneath the floor, no spare tire if you go hybrid. If you go non-hybrid, which is going to have the 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder under the hood, then you will have a spare tire. And how about base price? $29,500 if you go with the non-hybrid version is going to be your base price for the CR-V. If you go with the hybrid version of the CR-V, your base price will be $33,700. And for the Accord, if you go non-hybrid, $27,895 will be your base price. If you go hybrid, you're looking at a base price of $32,895. And how about options and numbers that go with those options depending on what's under the hood? Well, it's pretty easy to deal with the hybrid end of each model because both have a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder paired with dual electric motors. Both models, whether it's the Accord or the CR-V, put out 204 horsepower and 247 pounds-feet of torque. Both are mated to an eCVT. Now there is a difference in horsepower and torque if you go with a non-hybrid version of either one of these vehicles. Both will have a 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. With the Accord, you're looking at 192 horsepower and 192 pounds-feet of torque, mated to a CVT. With the CR-V, you're looking at 190 horsepower and 179 pounds-feet of torque. Again, mated to a CVT. And how about MPGs? Well, on this hybrid CR-V, we're looking at 40 city, 34 highway, 37 combined, 2.7 gallons of gas, and a 14-gallon gas tank. And The gas tank size on the Accord a little bit smaller, 12.8 gallons. But let's see what the differences are with the MPGs. We'll take a good look at that real fast. 46 city, 41 highway, 44 combined, and 2.3 gallons of gas for every 100 miles driven. And if you're going to go non-hybrid with the CR-V, the MPGs come in at 28 city, 34 highway, 30 combined, and 3.3 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. And last but not least, where the MPGs are concerned, a non-hybrid version, in this case the EX, with the Accord, 29 city, 37 highway, 32 combined, and 3.1 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. And we'll take a quick look into the back seat of each model, starting with the CR-V. Plenty of space within the door bin, and I'd say the armrest is pretty comfortable. The rear seats in this model, well, they will recline. You can see how they look when they're in the upright position. That's reclined, and you will find the fold-down armrest with cup holders built in. Air conditioning vents on the rear of the center console, and a couple of USB ports down there as far as connectivity options. And another thing that you'll find that's the same on both models is you only have one style of sunroof, or maybe I should say one size. Both are going to be conventional size. I'm curious to know what you as the consumer think. Would you rather see a panoramic option for each model, or maybe panoramic and conventional size options, or no sunroof at all? I know everybody has their preferences. Both models have sunroofs that tilt and slide open. In my personal opinion, I wouldn't call the Accord's interior cramped by any means, but definitely a little less space than what you have with the CR-V. But still plenty of room. The armrest is a reasonable size, still seems to be comfortable. The door bin's a little smaller here, and we'll take a look into the rear seating area. Now, these seat backs do not recline. You do have a fold-down armrest here with the cup holders built in, a little bit of a different design. And in this particular case, we don't have the rear air conditioning vents or any connectivity back here. Tell me what you think about that. Both of these are the hybrid sport trim level. And depending on trim level, obviously, there are going to be some differences, some additions, and some things that won't be on these models. And that purely depends, again, on trim level and if you go hybrid or non-hybrid. And here in the interior of the CR-V, well, there's going to be some similarities and one primary difference between what we see here and in the interior of the Accord. I'll give you a quick look across at everything that we have here. In this particular case, we have the 7-inch touchscreen. Probably the easiest to deal with of the two. That flickering effect you see, by the way, has to do with my camera. It's not really happening. So just so you know, you don't have to worry about that being a problem or a defect or anything like that. You can go with this screen, which is very easy to use, very easy to learn. You will need a USB cable to connect your smartphones, but it is Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatible. And the same will be true if you go with the 9-inch touchscreen. It has a different look to it, but still just as simple to deal with, but it is wirelessly capable of pairing your phone. You can pair your phone wirelessly, maybe a better way to put it with that. And the instrument cluster pretty much going to look the same, but depending on whether you go hybrid or non-hybrid with the CR-V. Now let's do this. Here's our drive mode selector. You do not have a push button shifter, which is nothing new for the CR-V with this latest generation that debuted for the 2023 model year, but you'll see a different look here. Obviously, I think it's better for 2024, 2023, and 2024 because everything was up here. It was kind of angled a little bit. You have a 90-degree angle here, so that's going to reduce glare, make things look a little cleaner, and the shifter isn't right up here in the middle. I think that just looks better. My personal opinion on the matter, but let's take a look at our driving modes. We'll start here with normal. You're going to have the graphics that go with each model. I don't know if we're giving you the best view here. There's a little bit of a glare. Econ mode and snow mode. And then we go all the way up to the top. You're also going to have sport mode. So quite a bit going on where that is concerned. Obviously, your steering wheel mounted controls, both models will have the turn signal indicators activated right here with the lever. Some of you know how to do that, some of you don't. I know some of you are probably saying, what are you talking about, Tom? I thought all you did there was turn the lights on and off on the exterior of the vehicle. Well, you just learned something new. And over here, yeah, we can't laugh about it the same way and give people a hard time because people use this lever appropriately all the time, because that's how you control your front and rear window wipers. And something else that will be the same on both models will be something to do with these paddle shifters, or what appear to be paddle shifters. If you go hybrid, they actually control regenerative braking. So you can increase or decrease how that works. And all that is using the brakes to help keep the battery charge capacity up, help it go. That way with kinetic energy, very simplistic explanation there. Hey, I'm not going to try and get into that in a real detailed manner. Probably couldn't anyway. Heated seats here in this case, and you have dual zone climate control. And depending, again, on trim level, you can have the addition of a wireless charging pad right here. And here is what we have with the center console. Now, one thing about the center console on the CR-V, it does sit a little higher than what it does in the Accord. So a little bit more useful as an armrest, and obviously plenty of space within. And here in the interior of the Accord, well, there are some differences between the two, one of which being the instrument cluster. And so here's something interesting that happens when you turn the exterior lights on, the headlights and the tail lights. Well, you'll see that that illumination comes on right there in the center of the instrument cluster of the likeness of the Accord. And when you hit the brake pedal, you'll see the brake lights come on. And one last thing that happens when you do that, it also kind of goes into a driving position as far as that goes. And something I didn't show in the CR-V is the multi-view rear view camera. That's going to be the same on both models. Clear, easy to deal with. You'll have your trajectory lines. One thing that's going to be the same also will be basically the layout of the steering wheel, the controls. Again, instead of having the shifter paddles, so to speak, those are for your regenerative braking adjustments. And over here, again, that same lever that's a multitasker. So if I wanted to turn the headlights off, I can do that. And there's that one other thing that I can do with that that's a mystery to some of you. Over here, well, even again, can't say anything funny about it, but there is a difference on this lever on the right side of the steering wheel because you only have windshield wipers, no rear window wiper needed with the Accord. But the big difference between the two models is that when you go hybrid, you're going to have the 13.2-inch touchscreen, the largest of any Honda vehicle you can currently purchase. That will eventually change, but hasn't changed just yet. Easy to use, it's wireless in this case. There are other options, obviously, depending on trim level and whether you go hybrid or non-hybrid. So in this case, everything wirelessly pairs, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility, and very easy to deal with. I like that. It has a different look than what we saw in the CR-V, but just as equally simple to use. You'll also have your dual zone climate control. Now, depending again on trim level, you may or may not have a wireless charging pad. You will have your USB connectivity here and the conventional style shifter. Now, one thing that will be different here, everything pretty much looks the same, but when you start changing driving modes, not only do you see the change take place here on the instrument cluster, but also on the center screen. So you can see what's going on there with the different modes. We have Sport, Normal, Econ. You also have individual driving modes, so you can make a lot of different changes in a lot of different areas with the vehicle. And as I mentioned earlier, the center console, while there's plenty of space within, let's take a quick look at that. There you go. It doesn't sit quite as high here in the Accord as it does in the CR-V. I don't know if that's a big deal. To some people, it may be. Tell me what your thoughts are where that's concerned. And I know sometimes people say, well, Tom, what are the prices of the vehicles in the video? With the CR-V, $36,630. And with the Accord, we're looking at $32,745. One more thing, in case you're curious, the exterior color on the CR-V is platinum white, steel night pearl on the Accord. So tell me what you think. What are the factors that determine your decision on which model you might choose to buy? I know some of you are trying to make that decision. Curious to know what will sway you in one direction or the other. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends here at Holmes Honda for loaning me both models for the day. If you want to know more about either one of these or anything else in inventory here at Holmes Honda, there are links in the description of the video. As long as these two are in inventory, you can go right to either one or anything else, like I say, that they have here at the dealership. I also want to say a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. That way you don't miss any future videos here on the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.